Hello, everybody. Hello, word nerds. How are you doing? We have another guest today. I am so thrilled that these people contacted me out of the blue. You heard from Aaron recently from the Human Values Podcast and the Human Content Network. And today we have his lovely co-host who is equally as funny, if not, he says more funny. You guys may have to have a little chat about that.
I'll let him win that one. But then I set a really high bar for myself, and I don't want anyone listening to this to be like, hey, that hoe was not funny at all.
Yeah, I like to keep the standards low for sure. Expectations low, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I always say.
Lindsay, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to have you read me words. Like I'm just a little baby in a blanket, right, a little sleepy, but not sleepy enough. And you're gonna make me all the way sleepy, and then I'll fall asleep to your nice word talks.
I have my word talks. I have definitely told people this could be a podcast for going to bed to. I don't know if it's true, but I think it makes sense.
I mean, that sounds very good to me. You know, I'm a big ASMR person.
Okay.
So anyone like talking to me and kind of in any sort of voice really just.
So what you're saying is you may not talk at all through this episode. You're just going to calmly listen and you may fall asleep.
Yeah. If I do, don't wake me up because
I'll just keep on reading.
Yeah. Just go with it. Go with the flow. Maybe I'll say something cool in my sleep and everyone will be like, oh, that was so revealing. You know?
What does the unconscious have to say?
Exactly.
Well, so can you, in your own words, tell me and tell everybody a little bit about your show, Human Values?
Oh, I would love to. So my good friend Aaron and I have always had a very special and bizarre relationship, and we've always loved weird hypotheticals. And so he and I decided to do a show where we invite guests on to talk about how much it would cost for us to do absurd things, like such as never ever cut or trim any hair on our body ever again, or have a statue in the middle of our house that grows a foot every time we don't get 8 hours of sleep.
Was that the dragon one?
That
dragon
was the dragon
statue?
one.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, just really the questions that plague us all as human beings.
These are the things we think about all the time.
Exactly. You know, we're really just trying to keep our finger on the pulse of the people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The people need to know. So, yeah, as I said in the other episode, they reached out to me and I was like, I got to check out your show first. And obviously, I was hooked immediately because the concept is just fantastic, and just having these really serious conversations about how much would I actually need in real life. I hadn't seen that done before, so I think it's fantastic, and
Thanks.
When I have time, I will definitely listen to more episodes. I've listened
Please
to 3 so far.
I've started to like take it all a little too seriously, where I'm like, it feels too real to me, and now I can't even have fun because I'm like, I need $250,000, and I'm getting upset. I'm having too many emotions around it, where I'm like, I forgot this was supposed to be funny. I'm out here like bargaining for my life.
Well, and then if you do it so often, you're like, am I actually going to get this money?
I know.
Is this
and then
thing
I'm
really
like,
going to happen?
Wait, I'm still broke. This is a problem.
What I really want to know, I was thinking about this, is how much effort do you actually put in before the recording of how much money you need to do all these things?
Well, that's a really good question. So I like to have a basic idea of all of the mechanics, all of the pieces of the question, like what would be involved. But then a lot of the numbers I end up working out in real time, because sometimes in talking it out with other people, my mind changes. Like something that I thought wouldn't be so hard, suddenly I realize that there's more to it than I thought. Or there would be legal ramifications or health ramifications. And so then I'm asking for more money. But sometimes I realize that something that I thought was going to be a lot more complicated or that would be so much more expensive is actually maybe going to be kind of fun and not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, for instance, going to hunt for the Yeti, I thought would be a very expensive sojourn for me. But then once we hashed it out, I was like, wait, this actually sounds great. And maybe I fall in love with the Yeti and maybe it was all worthwhile. So
and a relationship blossoms.
Exactly. And then, my heart is so full and I have found my true love and it just so happens to be the Yeti and then it was all worth it. So, stuff like that.
Right. You like $5 for that one. Yeah, what I thought was really interesting was that everybody seemed to have a different way that they thought about this topic. Like there was like one thing, okay, there's this logistical thing that I really need to think about. And you all sort of brought different things to the table in that way. And
Yeah.
then yeah, it sparks your mind about what they thought and vice versa. I
Yeah,
think that's fantastic.
totally. Staying flexible, I think, is really the way to do it so that like I have a vague idea going in, but I try to stay open-minded because like I was saying, I take it very seriously. Like it doesn't feel hypothetical when I'm in it. I'm like, this is real. I'm going to have a statue in my living room that grows a foot every time I don't sleep 8 hours. And that is just what my life is going to be. And I really have to consider everything and take it more seriously than anyone ever should. And it's great.
Wasn't there something about tattooing something to your forehead?
Yes, there was one
Was it like your
about,
phone number?
yeah, your phone number to your face. Um, there are a lot of ramifications to that one, and
Yes, there
also
are.
had to consider tattoo removal eventually once it's done and scarring and people knowing your phone number and all of that stuff. So, you know, there's a lot to think about.
There are, and I cannot wait to come on at some point, maybe next year. I can't wait, mostly just to find out what you guys come up with for what the three topics are, and then just to put the energy into like how much money do I actually need? That's a good challenge for my brain, I think.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you to come on and play the game with us.
Yeah,
It's very fun. We have so much fun doing it.
sweet.
Yeah.
Should we talk about some words? Would you
Oh my
like to be
God.
lulled to sleep?
Again, if I fall asleep, do not wake me up because, you might get something interesting out of me. And I'm really excited about these words. I really, I not to be crass, but I do love D's.
Let's talk about some D's.
Yeah, let's just talk
Uh,
about D's.
the first word in this episode is demiurge. Yeah, Demiurge. And just a couple episodes ago, we learned about the demi prefix, which is all about half of a thing or less of a thing. So, I'm just gonna assume that this is less of an urge. I don't know. Let's actually read this and not make up stuff in our brains. This is a noun from 1840. Number one is capitalized. It's a very important capital D there. 1A, a Platonic subordinate deity who fashions the sensible world in the light of eternal ideas. That was very poetic,
Gorgeous.
right?
But I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around that one.
Me too. Platonic subordinate deity. I don't know it's a deity. It's a god who fashions the sensible world this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Fashions the sensible world in the light of eternal ideas. Okay, I think I may have to put a link in the show notes where people can go learn more about this fascinating demiurge. But there's more.
Demiurge, a person. Okay, great.
I guess, yeah, it's a deity. It's a deity. 1B, a Gnostic subordinate deity. Okay, this is different, similar but different. A Gnostic subordinate deity who is the creator of the material world. And I have to point out that the word Gnostic starts with a G, so that's important. Okay, so those two are both with a capital D. One's Platonic, one's Gnostic. One fashions the sensible world, and one creates the material world. And that's all I have for that.
Wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. Okay, wait. So what blows my mind is that there is a subordinate that's just out here creating material worlds. Like you would think that's more like a boss job.
Yeah, well, and I wonder if subordinate, if they're using a different definition than the one that we often think of, like a
Yeah,
boss and then
what
the
do they
subordinate.
mean by subordinate?
Right, right. It's probably similar, but yeah, maybe it's like not the highest level deity, but maybe just the next level down.
Well, maybe there's a difference between creator, like they're creating material world, like they're down there, like, putting clouds together, all
They're doing the
boring.
manual labor.
Yeah, they're like making the plans for a mountain, whereas like the boss deity is like, make a mountain, bitch.
Right. Make a mountain, bitch.
And so,
Okay, I
yeah.
gotta come up with the plans. I'm gonna do my
Yeah.
CAD design for the mountain. Oh,
Yeah.
is this the kind of mountain that you're looking for? No, make it 30 times bigger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, that's a hill, you little
Yeah.
demiurge. I said mountain. Get it right or pay the price. Patoy.
You're just a demiurge.
Yeah, you're just a little
We
demiurge.
we have a number 2 for this one, which is one that is an autonomous creative force or decisive power.
Ooh.
So, yeah. That's not capitalized for that one. Okay, yeah, this one's fascinating. I want to learn a little bit more about this one, and so we'll put some more in the show notes. Demiurgic or demiurgical, that is an adjective, and the etymology, I hope it helps. This is from the Greek demiurgos. Do you know Greek?
I don't know Greek.
Yeah, I don't either.
Thanks for asking, though.
You're welcome. I have to ask everybody things like that now and then. So demiurgos literally means artisan or one with special skill, and that is from demios, which is of the people, because demos means people, and then orgos means worker. So they're kind of like the one who is working for the people. And there's more at the word demagogue, which that was a couple episodes ago. That's an interesting one, a demagogue. And also the synonym work, or the word work. So yeah, that hopefully that helps.
I really need to see this used in a sentence.
Oh yeah.
Big time, because I feel like demi. I need more about demi.
Yeah.
Because when
my
I
thoughts
think
exactly.
because demi is like less or part.
Yeah, so in this context, it actually is from the root of people. Demos means people. So an urge, orgos means worker. So it sounds like, and this is not helpful, believe me, but it seems like it's like the worker of the people or the person who is working for the people or something. That's all I got.
Wow, I mean, that's a hard word. It's a hard word. I need a video. I need examples in history.
Yeah.
I need a lot more information here.
All right. Well, when this episode airs, because you can't Google it beforehand, when this episode airs, you can check the show notes. I'll put some stuff in there.
Can't wait.
Perfect. I don't know if you know, but after every word, there's a sound effect. Is there a certain sound or something that that you like that we should make a sound effect for today?
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's how people respond often. For instance, Aaron said he liked a trumpet sound, so we just made trumpet sounds after each word.
Oh yeah,
and
he's really good at trumpet sounds.
Like,
I've heard his trumpet
go-to.
sounds many, many times.
I'm sure you have. He had it right off the bat. He knew what he wanted right away. So it's just a little sound effect. Say, okay, this word, we're done with this word. We're gonna move on to the next word. It's like a whoosh is kind of a good, like, okay, we're moving on. But that's no fun. A whoosh is no fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably overdone.
Right.
So when a word is done, we need to figure out a sound effect.
And we're gonna make it with our mouths.
Okay. Should we do like the punchline drums of like dunk?
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
You just did the sound. So now we are gonna move on to demi-world. And this is one word. This reminds me of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Noun from 1862. It is the number 2 definition for demi-monde, D-E-M-I-M-O-N-D. Do you happen to know what that is?
Demi-monde?
Yeah, I definitely did not, but I learned about it in the previous episode.
What is it?
So, because we've already gotten through this, I can tell you. This one specifically, it is the number 2 definition. It is a distinct circle or world that is often an isolated part of a larger world. And then especially one having low reputation or prestige. This actually comes from, to put it bluntly, prostitutes. Because demi-monde is also a class of women on the fringes of respectable society who often are supported by wealthy lovers. So anyway, it's like the underground world kind of
I see. Cool.
society. Yeah.
Nice.
It's our favorite place.
Yeah.
There's an example, the demi-world of drugs. So that makes sense.
Oh, the demi world of drugs. Okay, little drug
Yeah.
world. The demi world of prostitution. The demi world of sugar babies.
Oh, yes.
The demi
Exactly.
world of adult babies.
Adult baby. The demi-world of demiurges.
Ooh.
Ba-doom-tsh.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect sound effect. Okay, the next word is demo. This is a noun from 1793. Number 1 is capitalized, and it is the number 2 definition for the word Democrat, which we are going to have later this episode. So hold on to your pants.
Holding on tight.
Number 2A. Not too tight, though, please. Number 2A is the 1B definition for the word demonstration, which is, you gotta put on a demonstration to show how to use a product, and we just shorten it to demo.
Classic demo.
Exactly. How can you not automatically just think about it like an infomercial?
It's all I
right
can
away.
think about is infomercials, but also at grocery stores when they're like, they'll
Yes.
make a thing and then they'll put a tiny little piece of it into a tiny plastic cup and you're like, I like it. Where's that? Where can I? And then you act like you're going to buy it and you're not.
Nope. Set it down. I'm done. Here, let me show you how to cook this thing. It's so easy. Even you can do it. Number 2B, this one is British, and it is the number 4 definition for demonstration. And I'm sorry, you all will just have to check in a couple episodes from now to learn about what that one is. It's British, though. The British say demo for that specific definition. Number 3A, we have it's the A definition for the word demonstrator. So the one who is doing the demonstration, I guess, is the demo?
Sure.
Why not? 3B, a recording intended to show off a song or performer to a record producer. Have you ever had to
Wow.
make a demo?
I've helped people with it. Actually, no, I have had to make a demo for something. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. My dad was in the voiceover world for many, many years. That's how he made his living. And so it seemed like every year he was making a new demo and he was doing something, and this was like old reel-to-reel tapes and cassette tapes, and he would send them out to everybody. This is like the 1980s and 90s days of voiceover work. It's so different from now where it's just all digital. It's so
Everything,
easy to
yeah.
make a demo now.
Anyone can do it.
Even me. Okay. That's the demo for a record producer. We have 3C, an example of a product that is not ready to be sold, as in a demo version of the software.
Wow. Yeah.
Number 4, it is the number 2 definition for demographic. This it's just a short form of all these different demo words. And what's interesting is I don't think demolish was in here at all.
Where is it?
Right? I think they missed one because when I hear demo, that's another thing I think of, like just demoing a thing. You shorten it to demo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a demo.
Right. Let's do the demo.
They missed one. We need to call Mr.
HGTV.
Webster. Yeah.
All the dictionary people are going to get yelled at. There is no etymology because there's just too much. So, drum punchline, please.
Drunch.
The next word is demob. Demob. First form, transitive verb from 1919. This is chiefly British because it is the synonym is demobilize.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're going to demob the army, demob the hordes of angry people.
Yeah, we can't have them mobilized over here, so we have to demob them.
I like it.
And I don't know why this isn't American. Just the British have taken on demob.
I wouldn't say demob.
You would say
I
it?
would just
You
say
have-
demobilize.
Yeah. I don't know
Demob
why
is a
we
weird,
didn't shorten it.
it's a weird, yeah, we could shorten it. We can start today.
Let's do it. Let's change American English right now.
Handshake. High five.
Okay. The next word, badum-tsh,
Yeah.
is the second form of demob. Noun from 1945. This is also chiefly British. And before I even get to the thing, what I find is interesting is that this one, 1945, is in the World War II time zone. And the other one is 1919, which I don't know if you know, but I feel like that's a lot closer to the World War I timeline, which I think is just kind of interesting.
It's just before and just after, really, that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, right around there. So this one is the act or process of demobilizing. So basically, one was the verb and one was the noun.
Yep, that's the only difference.
That's it. Hey, should we talk about the actual word demobilize?
Let's do it.
Drum sound.
Dudunch.
It's going to get very repetitive. I'm sorry. Have
I know,
fun
I'm
with it.
into
Feel
it.
free.
I'm here. I'm here for it. I like it.
Demobilize. This is a transitive verb from 1882. Number one, the synonym is disband. If a group is banded together, they have mobilized their infantry, but we have to break it apart. No more. Number two, to discharge from military service, and demobilization is a noun.
See, when I think of discharging from military service, it sounds very individual. But when I think of demobilization, I think of a large group.
Yeah, I do too. That second one is a little, I mean, I guess technically, and I have no military experience, so I cannot speak to this smartly, but I guess if you're in the military, you have mobilized with the rest of your people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, makes sense. What you said makes sense to me.
I mean, I'm just doing my best.
It's fantastic. Ooh, you know what? We have some really fun words now.
Oh, God.
Broom-cha. We have the word democracy. Hoo-hoo. This is a noun from 1576.
Ooh.
It's very old. 1A, we have many definitions here. 1A, government by the people, especially rule of the majority. So the majority says what goes, and it is a government specifically for the people, not for the monarchs, not for all those other people, but specifically for the people. And I'm skipping ahead, but we know the Greek word demos means people, so that is why this word is that.
Ooh, yeah.
1B, a government in which the supreme power is vested in the people, that's very important, and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation, usually involving periodically held free elections. A lot of information there. Okay, so quick question for you.
What's up?
We have four so more definitions for this one word. Should we just go through them and then maybe chat a little afterwards, or do you have things to say maybe after each one? There's a lot to say, I think.
There's a lot to say, but I'm really, because, these ones that you just said are the ones that I think of on a larger scale when I think of democracy. But I feel like the next ones maybe are a little bit more nitty gritty. And I want to know about that nit and that grit.
Oh, yeah. You got to get all up in the nit and the grit.
Yeah.
Number 2, a political unit that has a democratic government.
Okay.
So one unit of a thing politically is a democracy. Okay, I've not heard of that.
Sure, yeah, I guess I could see that.
Number 3 is capitalized. The principles and policies of the Democratic Party in the U.S., as in from emancipation, republicanism to New Deal democracy. And that is a quote from C.M. Roberts.
Who is C.M. Roberts, and how did he get into the dang dictionary? He's a dictionary celebrity.
Oh, yeah, there's a handful. Shakespeare, I've seen Shakespeare a number of times.
Oh, yeah, he's making up words left and right.
Oh, yeah, totally. There were 2 in one episode, actually. Okay, so the principles and policies of the Democratic Party specifically is the democracy. That's what it tells me. Number 4, the common people, especially when constituting the source of political authority. So the common people are, because they're the people. Number 5, the absence of hereditary or arbitrary class distinctions or privileges. Yeah, we
Wow.
said the etymology is from demos, which is people, and that's pretty much it. That's it. So, I feel like I have some things to say, but we might have to hold on to that a little bit. So, I
Why?
don't know.
Why?
Well, it's more about thinking about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And if you look at just the etymology, the Democratic Party seems very clearly for the people, about the people.
Yeah, it's not about Democrat or Republican democracy. I've seen so many. Do you know? Are you familiar with the group The Good Liars?
No. Who are they?
They're a group of a couple of guys that they go out and they interview people outside of like Trump rallies or wherever, and they ask them questions, and they usually have some sort of ridiculous answer. But something that I see often on those things is they'll be like, "Do you believe in democracy?" to the people there, and they'll be like, "Hell no. I don't want anything to do with democracy," because they just don't understand that democracy is a concept and is a concept separate from the Democratic Party.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And a lot of these people don't understand it because they're not civics experts. They're emotional people living their emotional lives, and something has gotten under their skin. So I love like the reminder of this concept of it's a government by the people and the rule of the majority, which also is kind of infuriating that we say we're a democracy, but does the majority get to rule the whole thing?
Yeah, you may know this better than me, but if I remember correctly, was it the last two? Was it 20? Oh, now I'm blanking. 2012? No, 2016. I feel like there were two elections in a row where, I mean, Trump specifically in 2016 did not get the popular vote, yet he still won the Electoral College.
Yep.
And I feel like there was another one, which I'm totally blanking on. But that really, really frustrates me because I understand it's very hard to tally every single person's vote in the entire country of 300 plus million people, but the majority should mean something, right? And the fact that our system can make that happen where it's not the majority and that person still wins just blows my mind.
Yep, it's crazy. I mean, it's close. I'm looking, it's happened 4 times in our elections. In
Ever.
Yes, in 1876,
I remember that one, yeah.
in 1888, which is crazy. In 2000, Bush Gore, and
Yeah.
in 2016, Clinton and Trump. But here's something funny about all 4 of these is that the Republican beat the Democrat with the Electoral College and not the popular vote in all 4 of those.
Every time it was the Republican who won.
The Republican who won over the Democrat who actually got the popular vote.
Yeah.
That had the majority, which is, there are a lot of people that believe that the Electoral College that we should not have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who believe
Seems
this.
very dated.
It does seem very dated. But, it makes so much sense that the person that wins is the person who got the most votes, and that is just not what happens. And it's like, what? That's the entire basis of the country. However, I don't know why they started the Electoral College. Like, I don't know. That's just my own foolishness that I
Same
don't
for
know why they started the Electoral College. But I'm going to find out right now.
Yeah,
because
it
I feel
seems
it's
like
important.
it is important to know that stuff. And yeah, I feel semi-educated about all these things, more so than the people at the Trump rallies, probably less so than you and many other people. But yeah, it seems like, okay, we need the Electoral College because our country is getting so big and we have all these states and we need an easier way to sort of funnel all of this voting information into one place. Mm-hmm. But it feels like they could have done it in a better way.
Yeah. I mean, everyone is like, the framers, the framers, the framers, trust the framers. And I'm like, okay, we know a lot more now
Yeah.
than people did when they were prescribing a lot of things back in the day.
And
Maybe we should
also,
go off of the new information.
yeah, and the fact that who are the people, the electors, the fact that they can then say, no, I'm actually going to vote for this person instead of you choosing this person, I don't think it happens much at all, but the fact that it can happen is also very strange.
Can and has
I figured it
very
has, yeah.
recently. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. Makes me mad. Not what democracy is, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we claim to live in a democracy, but when things like this are happening, then maybe we can't call this a democracy.
Also, when the elected officials are, you know, there's lobbyists, there's people giving them money,
Oh,
there's like campaign financing is such like I get so tripped up on it because I'm just like these people are getting so much money from these corporations,
yep.
much more from corporations than they're getting from individuals. And then who are they working for really? You know?
Yeah, the money aspect is such a huge problem, and not just with politics, obviously. I mean, for everything, money is the thing that just brings it all down. And it's like, just, you follow the money. They're going to make decisions based on money. I have put so much brain power into thinking about that, and I think it just causes me stress.
Yeah, no, it's definitely stressful. I mean, all of this stuff, especially when it comes to politics, I'm like, I'm one person with an opinion, and, you know, luckily a lot of people have similar beliefs, which is
Hmm.
great and reassuring. But then it's like, you know, I saw this video. Oh my God. I saw this video today of it was Marjorie Taylor Greene's
Hmm.
kind of like
You've said enough.
campaign video, which, you know, we all know she's a lot. But this video was of her being like, the Democrats suck. And here's what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to get in a helicopter and shoot wild hogs from the sky.
Yeah, that totally seems logical. I see the train of thought there. Yeah.
It just doesn't, yeah, it didn't make any sense. I'm like,
Wow.
oh my God, those feral hogs. I hope that it would just be very just to see her taken down a notch by a horde of feral hogs.
I hope the helicopter goes down safely and the wild hogs just, they do their thing.
Or I hope she makes friends with a feral hog one day and
Oh,
changes her mind.
Feral hogs they're really great. They're really nice. I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
I hope that we have changed some people's minds on this who are listening to this episode. If they did not know what democracy is, maybe they have been educated.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just now enraged too, and they're going to go watch the Marjorie Taylor Greene video and laugh at her because she is a stoopy dum-dum.
Yes, she is. Okay. Maybe, can you send me the link? Maybe I'll put it in the show notes to make people's lives even easier.
Yeah, great.
Ba-doom-tsh. The next word is Democrat. Noun from 1789. 1A. An adherent of democracy. So if you like democracy, if you like that the majority rules, it is a government for the people. If you like all those things, then you are an adherent of democracy. You are a Democrat.
Wow.
1B. One who practices social equality.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2 is capitalized. A member of the Democratic Party of the U.S.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Again, this is all about the people. Let's be equals. Let's be good to the people who you are in the world with. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. I mean, I like that it's an adherent of democracy also is very much like it's a belief in the majority rule is being a Democrat.
For the people, by the people, all the people in it up.
People.
Yeah. Please do a drum roll, whatever that is. The next word is democratic. Adjective from 1602. 1. Of, relating to, or favoring democracy. We are favoring democracy when we are democratic. Number 2 is often capitalized. Of or relating to one of the two major political parties in the U.S., evolving in the early 19th century from the Anti-Federalists and the Democratic Republican Party, and associated in modern times with policies of broad social reform and internationalism. And that is a very small list. I do remember hearing that, like, back in the day, everybody would say, "Oh, Lincoln was a Republican, right?" But then the parties changed a little bit, and so, this is not getting really in depth, but this is saying that the Democratic Party evolved from the Anti-Federalists and the Democratic Republican Party. Do you know anything about that party?
The Democratic Republican Party?
Yeah.
I know very little and not enough to speak knowledgeably on the subject. But I
Fair.
will say, I do think that it's fascinating, the evolution of the parties. And it's what's really cool is that I feel like we're seeing a little bit of it now, where there's a little bit shifting sands between our definition of what is a Democrat and what is a Republican. I feel like things are getting more extreme, and people that had formerly thought of themselves as Republicans, maybe they see this party now and they don't identify, or they think of the Democratic Party from 5 even years ago or 10 years ago, and they are like, this, where it is now is not exactly where I am aligning. So I feel like we're actively getting to witness party structures changing and ideology changing, which is what had happened before, where Republicans had a different approach to social justice, and that has now changed, and now we're kind of seeing it happen again. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it is really fascinating to be living through this because, we have this largely two-party system here in America but you can't split up a population of this many people into two groups. I mean, people are just so more nuanced than that. You look at Britain and so many other countries, and they have so many sub-parties and smaller parties, and, it just seems like it makes a lot more sense to have very specific viewpoints about the world and how to deal with people and money and government and all those things. And it'll be really interesting to see if we start to move into a more smaller party situation than these two massive ones. It's not sustainable.
I like to think that it will work, but then imagine the Democratic Party splits and then we lose every election because the Republican Party stayed together. You know what I mean? Or
it would have
vice
to be
versa.
equal or something.
Like there has to be some way around, like I would think there would have to be a very, very structured way that you go about splitting up both parties at the same time. Though I have to imagine that the ideology is still so strong in how we see things. It would be a really, really heavy lift, I think, to create multiple parties in addition to the two that we already have, just because, that's all of the strategy goes into one and one. I just don't understand how it would work. I wish that it would work, but
Yeah, it would be a huge shock to the system, and it would take a massive amount of work. There are lots of other things, like even just daylight savings time. Just getting rid of that seems like way more work than anybody feels like putting into it. And it's just one little thing. So, splitting up these two massive parties into sub-parties, it's just such a huge undertaking. But if people are curious about Democratic Republican, don't you worry. We're going to get to that at the end of this episode.
I cannot wait.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Okay, we left off at number 2 for Democratic. We have number 3, relating to, appealing to, or available in the broad masses of the people, as in democratic art. So
I like that.
Art that appeals to the broad masses, I guess.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Something that's democratic, something that everyone likes. Like such as uh Picasso. Does anyone like Picasso actually?
I was gonna say I don't know. He's pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, has Picasso's canceled. I don't know, Van Gogh. Van Gogh. I think
Everybody.
everybody likes Van Gogh. So we'll
Yeah,
say Van Gogh created very democratic art. Art
I
that
think that's
appeals
fair.
to the broad masses.
Yeah, I think it's hard to find something that appeals to the broad masses these days. But there's some things out there. There's definitely some things.
I mean, what are the things that bring people together? I'll tell you one of the shows that brings people together. The show Yellowstone.
Haven't seen it. I've seen the ads. What are they in season 5 now or something?
Something like that, but that show really reaches across the aisle.
Ooh.
Everybody loves Yellowstone. I
All right.
also haven't seen it, but I've seen the healing powers of Yellowstone on, my family.
Bringing people together. From the one image I remember seeing recently, I completely know what you're talking about. Everybody's appreciating it.
Yeah.
Number 4 for democratic, favoring social equality. And then also, this is fantastic,
Oh, I love
not
it.
snobbish.
Not snobbish, people.
Let's
Not
say it again.
snobbish.
Democratic is not snobbish.
The whole painting of the Democratic Party as the elite is just so LOL to me.
Yeah. Did you see that movie? Oh, I'm blanking on the name. Starts with an H.
Horton
Oh
Hears a
boy.
Who.
Yes, that was the one. The political things and Horton Hears a Who are just, it's
It's
the underbelly.
it's an undertone kind of thing.
Oh, I think it's called Hunt. Is it The Hunt or The Hunted? The Hunt. Betty Gilpin, Hilary Swank. Did you ever see that movie?
I did.
That one talks a lot about the elite and people with money and, the two different sides. They're really good about sort of not saying it, but also saying it at the same time. It's an interesting movie. Did you like it?
I didn't
I'll-
see it.
Oh, I thought you said you did. My bad.
No.
My bad. Yeah, it's worth watching. There's a lot of statements going on in there, and some people are quite snobbish in that movie.
Look, I love snobs. I love a snob.
When it's appropriate, I like a snob. Yeah. Democratically is an adverb, and that finishes up democratic. But we are not done with these types of words. Punchline drum.
Dudunch.
The next word is democratic centralism. 2 words, noun from 1926. This is a principle of Communist Party organization by which members take part in policy discussions and elections at all levels, but must follow decisions made at higher levels.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know enough about communism. I know, the basics of like, okay, everybody gets the stuff, but it doesn't work great in real life, I guess.
Yeah, like how are decisions made if not by majority? I don't know this. I should know more about communism because people talk about communism all the time.
Yep.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they make decisions. I assume decisions are made at high levels, but then how do you figure out who's going to be the high level person?
Right. How do you know? So members take part in policy discussion. So it's more of a discussion, and then that's how they make decisions. And then, but they must follow the decisions from the higher level. So, but yeah, democratic centralism, I wonder where the name comes from. Because it's by the people, I guess. Democratic, it's the people who are deciding. But centralism, I don't know. Maybe we need to put a link in the show notes for this one too.
Yeah, I think we must because I got to figure this out.
Yeah. Okay, we have one more word for this episode. It is Democratic Republican. 2 words with a hyphen, and the first letters are capitalized. From our point of view these days, it looks like this is 2 things that don't match, but clearly our parties came from this. That's what it seems like to me. Democratic Republican is an adjective from 1818. That was a long time ago. That was over 200 years ago. of or relating to a major American political party of the early 19th century, maybe around 1818, favoring a strict interpretation of the Constitution to restrict the powers of the federal government and emphasizing states' rights.
Interesting.
So, based on that, it seems to me, with the small amount of knowledge that I have, that that's more about the Republican Party these days matches that definition more than the Democratic Party.
Yeah, they're very, very pro states' rights. But here's the thing. I think they weaponize states' rights in a lot of ways. Like, I'm very much pro, you make the decisions you need to make for your state. But I think that they do that mainly for the things that are federally restricted that they don't agree with. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, women's health care and things like that, where they are like finding any way that they can to get around certain federal rules that are actually kind of not that bad. So yeah, they really took that from the Democratic Republican and they really made it theirs. So good for them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also really curious now about, well, how did the Democratic Party come from this? Because when we saw Democratic, it said that it was from the Anti-Federalists and the Democratic Republican Party. So, but this didn't really say anything that these days Democrats believe in. So
I feel like there's more to the Democratic Republic. I feel like that's just scratching the surface of Democratic Republican Party. And I think we got another link for the show notes, people.
Oh, we do. We have so many links. This is going to be a link-tastic episode.
Link-tastic.
This definition is only 3 lines long, so you can really only go so far in a short little definition.
Enough. Yeah.
No, we need an encyclopedia where we can have longer explanations of things.
Did we finish that one?
We did. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's so much to talk about more, but we talked a lot about democracy and all those fun things. Yeah. Would you like to pick the word of the episode?
Word of the episode?
I will reread them for you if you like.
No, I know it.
Oh, you know it. Okay, for the people, I'm going to reread them because maybe they want to play at home.
Okay.
We have demiurge, demi-world, demo, demob, demob, demobilize, democracy, democrat, democratic centralism, and democratic republican. What do you got?
Clear winner, democracy. It takes
thinking.
up most of the page. It's the biggest idea. It means so much to so many people. Democracy wins.
And so many people don't even know what it means, clearly.
Now they do.
Was when I gave you the images of the sections that we could do, did you choose this one because of the word democracy?
I got excited about it. I wanted to define it, and I think that it's a definition that, I wish more people would hear. And it made me, I was like, ooh, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, the question that you said people were asking, like, do you believe in democracy or something like that? It's on par with, like, how many moons does the Earth have? And people, like on Jay Leno or whoever would do those questions, just ask random people. And people don't know the answers to these incredibly, simple, common sense things. And I feel like, yes, democracy is a harder concept than moons, but still, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
It's funny.
Would you like to sing a song about democracy or no?
Yes.
Please.
Yes, I would. Are you ready?
I'm ready, always.
Okay. I don't have any instruments close by.
Perfect.
Are you ready?
Wait. Yes.
Okay. Once I was a small girl down on the bayou thinking about words, and one that I thought of was democracy, and democracy made my head hurt because so many people, they don't know what it means. And then I looked on my Instagram down on the bayou and I thought, hey, yeah, lots of people are wrong, and look at me, I'm right because now I know the meaning.
You really understand the concept of this podcast, don't you? You and Aaron fit so well in this family. Thank you for that. That was wonderful.
Anytime.
If you were to play an instrument with it, what would it be? And would it have changed the song?
Probably I would spoons.
Oh, yes.
I'd
That's
be
a very
really
spoony
clapping
song.
spoons on my knee.
You're a good old spoon clapper.
I'm a spoon clapping kind of girl.
We didn't chat about this, and I'm sure you have to run, but real quick, maybe we can talk just a tiny little bit about animal activism, because I know we chatted about that before.
Oh
Off air.
yeah. Look, I was just talking today. I have a lot of emotion about. I saw a squirrel that was dead on the road, and for some reason that like opened the floodgates of what we do to animals on a daily basis is so utterly heartbreaking and massive on a global scale. It's killing billions of animals every year. It's killing people. It's putting workers in a terrible situation. There's literally nothing good about animal agriculture or eating animals for food. Also, just on an energetic level, you are putting so much suffering into your body. You are eating pain. And it's so easy to be vegan. It's just so easy to not eat whatever. If you want to eat dairy, I don't care. If you want to eat fish, sometimes I don't even care. But like, do your best to create less suffering in this world and to live a more compassionate life. Like, it's very, very easy to make choices every day that make the world easier with less suffering. And that is how I feel about animal activism.
And that is exactly how I feel too. And the listeners, the small handful of listeners on this podcast have heard me say things like that on occasion. And so, I have a similarly minded person here, and we gotta talk about it just enough. Just what you said is perfect. There's so many benefits, from the suffering to the health benefits to the climate benefits to all those things. It's kind of a no-brainer. And yeah, like you said, just minimize. Just do your best. Do what you can.
Be one less person creating suffering on a already ailing planet.
Yeah. Because we got a lot of work to do to fix this planet. Yeah. On that note,
let's go out and fix the planet.
Yay, democracy! Or something.
Yeah.
That is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you very much to Lindsay being on this podcast, being on this episode. Thank you to Aaron for being on the previous one like a week and a half ago. And I can't wait to be on your show and to have you guys on this show again. I mean, hey, we got a bunch of letters, so come back for the E's maybe.
Yay, would love it.
Yeah, that is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, Spencer.
And until next time, this is Spencer and Lindsay dispensing information. Goodbye.